Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm your ever-loving host, Shorty. And today I'm going to review something which I've been looking forward to for a while. This is All Eight Eyes. Don't you just love the title artwork? I think it looks absolutely spectacular. Now, weirdly, this is a comic book that is not what I expected it to be. Now, this is not a huge surprise, I don't think. I mentioned in the past that I kind of just jump onto concepts quickly, and I don't necessarily read the blurb. In this particular case, I just thought, yeah, giant spiders, brilliant. I like that kind of thing. And I didn't really know the creators too much. I know the artist, Kowalski, I believe his name is, Piotr Kowalski, or Kowalski. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it, I do apologise. Mostly because a really good friend of mine is big into Bloodborne. Like, he never stops talking about it. It's the best video game he's ever played. I think he's, like, platinumed it with all the DLC and, like, finished it repeatedly. So when Alesh Kott did a Bloodborne comic book, yeah, he was going to talk about it, and I was going to flick through it, and yeah, the artist is amazing. But he's certainly not somebody, like, I'd see a name and then just jump on the comic because of it. Like, I've seen Garth Ennis and Jason Burrows going to do one for, I think, AWA soon, called Ribbon Queen. I have no idea what's happening in that comic book whatsoever, but those two people involved means I'm going to buy it. For this one, it was literally just, I like that cover, I like the logo design, and giant spiders. Now, I am not an arachnophobe. I've seen the movie Arachnophobia, I think, when I was a teenager, and it was thoroughly unscary. I don't know if it'd be more scary if you are scared of spiders, but it was just kind of a silly creature feature. It scared me no more than Critters or Gremlins. But I liked it. I had fun watching it. I had fun, like, commenting on the FX and the kind of silly situations that you can get into when giant spiders are the thing that's happening in your movie. And I was kind of expecting giant spiders. Specifically, knowing, again, Kowalski's art style for Bloodborne, the idea of giant Lovecraftian-level spiders, yeah, absolutely, I'm down for that. It's not what I got. Not even close. Yes, there are giant spiders, but when I say giant, I mean, don't get me wrong, still genuinely freak me the hell out, but we're talking more the size of cats and dogs. Now, yes, that is still a terrifying situation as somebody who's not scared at all of spiders. If my dog came in chased by one the same size as her, I would be going for the shovel. Yeah, I mean, you can't deny that would be terrifying. But it's not really about that. And again, this is probably not going to surprise people who watched my reviews before. I do not like the idea of speculative fiction or genre fiction just being about the thing that it's supposed to be about. If it's just a story of giant spiders, I'm like, yeah, they're cool, I probably would enjoy it, but I'd be slightly disappointed that's all they were doing. So, fairly quickly, we realise that's not what we're doing. We have two main characters in this story. One of them is I think, a homeless person, probably have been homeless for a while. I think based on stuff we've seen happening in here, I think at least 10 years is what they're saying. And a young kid who's new to the city, I think New York, who's not welcome at home, or at least he's trying to break out of the constrictions of being at home in small town America. Almost sure that he's gay, or at least bisexual. And I think that might be part of his reason for not wanting to go home, even though he's having quite a hard time. And he's having a very hard time. He can't afford to pay rent. He's struggling to get by. He's been kicked out of his flat. He's living with a friend or a friend of the family, and he ends up, through sheer coincidence, encountering this homeless guy killing a giant spider with, I think, a hammer. I think he's murdering somebody because the giant spiders kill somebody and he just sees the body, because when your brain sees something totally unexpected and very hard to explain, it kind of makes stories up that make more sense. This is not an unusual situation. It's why witness testimonies are always really entertaining, but never really 100% factual when we're dealing with crime reports and things like that. And they play into this. I mean, don't get me wrong, that is like a very Lovecraftian Eldritch kind of way of doing it. It's like, yes, the human mind is not capable of seeing this thing, so it breaks and goes away. But they do play with it a little bit to give it kind of a reason why people don't seem to notice it's happening. But all this, from what I can see at least, is to feed into the idea that the people that are getting taken and eaten by giant spiders are people kind of on the fringes of society. Not 100%, but certainly those who have more of a high-risk lifestyle. When I say high-risk, I'm thinking, I mean, my girlfriend watches an awful lot of Criminal Minds. We're talking the kind of people who, either sex workers, homeless, addicts, people who basically their lifestyle means they're going to be high risk, and also less likely people are going to notice if they disappear for long periods of time, because that is kind of part of who they are. And the two main characters embody different aspects of that, but certainly fall into that. And how many people justify or write off things they've actually seen, because sometimes it's easier just to not see these kind of things happening, and not seeing these kind of things happening is something we also get quite a lot of with regard to things happening to homeless people. This is a lot of stuff going on there, which is really just having giant spiders as the framing of it all. And I like that. That's actually a really, really good way of doing it. I like the story. I think occasionally The dialogue is a little bit hammy. Like I could imagine something like Sam Neill actually talking like this in a movie with actual giant spiders. But it doesn't feel quite as down to earth as the setting and the story would kind of have it suggest. But it still works for me. I don't really have any major criticisms with it. It's just it's tonally a little bit off every once in a while. Artwork is spectacular, by the way. I mean, I started this entire thing by talking about his artwork, and it is brilliant in this one. It doesn't quite go for the big, over-the-top eldritch horror, but his cityscapes and his internal shots and his character work and his monster stuff and the dog. Oh, there's a little dog. It's amazing. It's a little pit bull, and it's adorable. Everything about the arc is spectacular. It is a visual feast. You're going to find yourself just constantly going backwards and forwards and taking in extra details. There's a bit with a burning building with a giant spider coming out the door. I could spend like 10 minutes just going over that picture and looking at all the fine detail work and the multi-point perspective and just the coloration. Everything about it is brilliant to look at. I was not disappointed. Even if it wasn't entirely what I expected, I'm still happy to be surprised. That's it from me for now, though. I'll be back with another review tomorrow. Until then, look after each other, everyone. Stay safe. Bye!